Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. I am your host Candace. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm like 60% here. I'm like 60% here, I think. I've been better. I've also been worse, but I'm here and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I came to the realization that I have fallen off on a lot of different series. It's nothing intentional, and it's nothing like, oh, this bored me, so I just, you know what I mean? It's more like, in order to keep the channel varied, I've bounced from author to author, from series to series. Some one-offs, standalones, that kind of thing. Try and do a little contemporary, try and do a little paranormal, whatever. I do need to read more like Regency romance because I think I have like 2 reviews for Regency romance on here. But you know what it is? I go through spells of time where I only want to read paranormal romance, or I only want to read contemporary romance or whatever. And I haven't been in a Regency mood in a hot minute. So, I will try and do that in the future. I will try and more. But yeah, in order to keep the channel varied, I have bounced from author to author. And in doing that, I have lost track of a lot of different like series. I don't know why I can't say that word, just series. How many are there supposed to be? Do you know? Series. Like it's already plural, but I want to add another s. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sidetrack. Okay, so yeah, I've come to the realization that I do that a lot. And by the time I finally get back to that series, I've forgotten everything that's happened before the book that I need to read. So, if you know me, you know me. You know me. So in today's video, 4 minutes in, we are going to be diving back into Gena Showalter's Lords of the Underworld series. I am only up to, okay, I've read them all. And in fact, yesterday, depending on when this video uploads, it won't be yesterday, but when I'm recording it, yesterday, was the official release for her new book, The Warlord. Okay, so the Lords of the Underworld have all, like the actual lords have all like been paired up at this point. And so she's segueing into a new series, or like a spin-off series called Rise of the Warlords. And it's like intergalactic, not like cheesy intergalactic, but like Cressley Cole's Morior. Oh, okay. Yes. Like that. But yeah. And it works out well because the heroine in that first book is a harpy who's related to some of the other harpies who got paired up with the Lords of the Underworld in that series. So it's like a bridge. It's a bridge of love and sex. But in today's video, we are not going to be reviewing The Warlord, mostly because I haven't finished it yet, because I'm a loser. We're going to be reviewing the next book, book 3, in her Lords of the Underworld series, which, as I said, I've read them all, but I have to review them all, and that takes time because there's like 15 books or something. The one we're going to be talking about today is this one, The Darkest Pleasure. I know a lot of people online in like my reader groups. Like I'm a member of Gena Showalter's Legions group on Facebook, which is a bomb group. Like you guys, it's like the nicest group of Mostly ladies. There's some dudes in there, but mostly ladies, and they're just like they're literally the sweetest. And I've seen tons of posts about this book in particular, or this lord in particular. So the hero of this book is Reyes, and Reyes is like, Reyes is the keeper of pain. So if you have like a little masochist in you, I could see why you'd be attracted to him in general, like above the others. But I will give you guys the deets for the book, and then I'll read you the blurb, and we'll break it down. And I'll do my closing spiel, and then you can go. You'll be free. Free as a bird, free as a bird. Okay, so according to Amazon, and it's been recently pointed out to me that Amazon, I don't know if they're inaccurate in terms of like pages in a book, or if it's just that you have to click on the option for like Kindle versus paperback versus hardcover, because obviously they're different. They're differing sizes, and so it will change the page number for how many pages is in that book. According to Amazon, this has 348 pages. According to Candace, this has 368 pages. Amazon, you be lying. Okay, so you can get this right now for your Kindle or Nook for the price of $6.99. You can get the mass market paperback for $7.99, brand new on Amazon. Don't you want this? Don't you want this in your collection? Don't you want to see that sticking out of your bookcase? You should. $1 more, you should. You can get the hardcover for $29.99, which I bet looks pretty good on a bookshelf as well. Or you can get this book used in varying conditions on eBay, like starting around like $4. So, usually with free shipping. So, it's whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. You're the boss. So I will read you guys a blurb, and then we'll break it down a little bit, and we'll get into it. So the blurb for this one says, Reyes is a man possessed, bound by the demon of pain. He is forbidden to know pleasure. Yet he craves a mortal woman, Danica Ford, more than breath, and will do anything to claim her, even defy the gods. Danica is on the run. For months, she's eluded the lords of the underworld, immortal warriors who won't rest until she and her family have been destroyed. But her dreams are haunted by Reyes, the warrior whose searing touch she can't forget. Yet a future together could mean death to all they both hold dear. And then there's like a little thing, I don't know why I snippeted this out. And be sure to check out the latest book in the Irresistible Darkest Torment. Okay, I don't know when that was updated, but that is not the most recent book in the series. Amazon. Okay, so the two main characters for this book are Reyes and Danica. My nose itches. I think I need to sneeze. Rabbit allergies. If you have watched any of my previous videos, or if you're familiar with this series at all, you will know that the basic premise to all of these books is that there is a band of immortal warriors who were created by Zeus, the Greek god Zeus, basically to protect him. They were like his personal guard. And one of the warriors, known as Pandora, was tasked with keeping safe this little trinket. Maybe you've heard of it. Pandora's box. And the other warriors basically got jealous that she was chosen, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna fuck with dear old dad Zeus, and we're going to open the box and see what's inside, and just, you know, wreak a little havoc, right? So one of the warriors, Paris, seduced Pandora. The other warriors got the box. A battle ensued. The box got opened. All the demons that were inside were unleashed upon the world, and as punishment, Zeus cast a demon into each of the immortal warriors and then banish them to Earth. So right now, Zeus has been imprisoned, along with all the other normal gods of Olympus, by Cronus, who is a Titan. Cronus is now king in the heavens, and basically making life hell for the lords of the underworld. So Reyes is the keeper of the demon Pain. Essentially, he gets relief by like self-mutilation. He's like a cutter, and you know, if that is a trigger for you, you may not want to dive into this book, but if it's not, then go for it, because Reyes is bae. So the lead female character, Danica, showed up in the first book of the series, The Darkest Night, which was Ashlyn and Maddox's book. She did show up for a brief period of that book, which kind of introduced her relationship with Reyes. And ever since then, she's been on the run. So during the course of that book, one of the warriors, Aaron, which in the audiobook version, which I also have, because I'm obsessed, the narrator pronounces his name as Aaron, and I just can't. Like, I don't know why. My brain is just like, no. His name is Aaron. Okay. So Aaron has been tasked with killing Danica and her sister and her mom and her grandmother. None of the lords really know why, but Aaron is the keeper of wrath. And so Cronus, the baddie that he is, decided it would be a good idea to basically possess Aaron, to make him like this like thirsty bloodlust to fulfill this task. Okay. So Danica's been on the run. She bounces from town to town, no name town to no name town. She dyes her hair color. She's hiding, right? She's hiding from Aaron. She's split up from the rest of her family, who are also in hiding. I don't remember if during the first and second book they put any thought into why Cronus wants her dead. That all really comes into play during this book. So essentially, once the warriors were possessed by the demons and they were sent to Earth, Pandora's box was lost to the ravages of time, right? Now they have come to find out that there are 4 artifacts that are somewhere out there in the world that will lead to the location of Pandora's box. Obviously, the lords want the box, because if someone else were to get their hands on the box and open it, the demons within the lords would be sucked back inside of the box and the lords would die. The band of hunters, who are like their foes, their nemesises, they want the box because they believe erroneously that free will means nothing. And so the lords and their demons are responsible for every bad thing that's ever happened on Earth. Right? Okay. It's brainwash cult much, but you know what I'm saying? So Reyes is low-key like obsessed with Danica from book 1, and that carries over into this book. But for the good of herself, for her own good, he kind of like half wants her to stay in hiding so that Aaron doesn't find her. They have subsequently found Aaron, and Reyes has taken the step of, even though like that's his brother and that's, he loves him like a lot, he basically like buries him deep down in the earth, like almost to like the pits of hell. And chained him up so that he can't go after Danica and her family. Danica's like discovered and brought back to their fortress in Budapest, which is where they live. And her and Reyes start this like love-hate relationship. I'm like, why are you you? Why are you the way you are? Like, she doesn't know at first that he's the keeper of pain. She does find that out later, and it becomes like a thing with their like sex play and stuff, which is pretty. So over the course of the book, they do make the discovery that Danica. So, okay, I told you about the 4 artifacts, right? So the 4 artifacts, they have already acquired one in the previous books, which is the Cage of Compulsion. There is another one out there that they have gotten wind of that the hunters and the lords are now both seeking, which is the all-seeing eye. They don't know in what form it will come. They don't know what it looks like. They don't know what it does exactly. They just know the hunters have sniffed it out and they're on the trail, and they have to be the first ones to find it, because if they don't and the hunters find it, they're fucked. So, throughout this entire book, Cronus is like a thorn in everyone's side. He's like an old guy who's also very like young-minded and crafty, but like in a menacing, not like just not nice way. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like a villain that you could love to hate, or hate to love, or whatever. You know what I mean? He's just irritating. Like, like, why are you? He's a good villain overall, because he does torment the lords and he is making them miserable, and like that's what a villain does, right? But like, I just wanted to be like, fuck out of here. So yeah. So Danica has always been like, she started getting visions when she was younger. Everybody thought she was like crazy. Her grandmother used to get them, and then her grandmother tried to kill herself, and after that point she lost the visions or the dreams. Like, she would have dreams of basically heaven and hell and demons and battles and things like that, right? That was then passed on to Danica, and then Danica learned to channel what she saw in her nightmares into paintings. So she began to purge herself. Like, she would wake up the next morning and she would just immediately get up and paint the scenes that she had dreamt of, and that would be her way of purging it from her system. So they find out later that the people that Danica has been seeing in her nightmares, or the characters that Danica has been seeing in her nightmares, are real. And in one of them, it shows Cronus being beheaded. And it turns out that that's why, basically why Cronus had been going after Danica's family, or had the lords going after Danica's family, because he had to keep the all-seeing eye out of the hands of his enemies. And Danica is the all-seeing eye. She's like a prophet. So when the painting comes about and they find out that there is a potential future where Cronus will be killed, Cronus comes to the conclusion, with a lot of prodding from Reyes, that Danica is better off alive than dead, right? Like, he knows this. He wants to be able to use her in the future for her abilities, so that he can garner like, secrets and shit. So in one of the previous books, the Keeper of Promiscuity, Paris, who's another lord of the underworld, was abducted by hunters. He was basically lured in by a very plain Jane looking girl that he was inexplicably attracted to. She turned out to be bait, or what they call bait. She was a hunter. She worked for the hunters. When he was kidnapped, he was on the verge of dying, because if Paris does not have sex like at least once a day or several times a day, he will physically like wither away. So he had been denied nourishment for a while, and he was on the verge of like, right? So the hunters basically threw this girl who had initially lured him into the room with him and was like, do him. The girl's name is Sienna. She basically has sex with Paris to save his life, and not knowing that it's going to basically imbue him with enough strength to break out of their hold, which he does. He has sex with her. He forms like an obsession kind of, and in the course of breaking out of the facility, he comes to two things happen. One, he comes to the realization that he gets a second like chub, right? For Sienna alone. So he's like, wait, I've never gotten a boner after doing someone. I've never gotten a boner for that same person again, ever. But I just did for her. So this means something. Well, sorry, she dies. Essentially, she gets shot up by her own people in the attempted breakout, because Paris is like, you're coming with me. And then she takes a bunch of bullets for him. So she dies. He's been miserable ever since. Insert that into the end of The Darkest Pleasure, Reyes's book. And there's like a critical climax at the end of the book where Aaron has escaped the clutches of the dank whatever, and he is about to kill Danica. And during that moment, or during that scene where Reyes and Aaron are fighting, Reyes to protect Danica and Aaron to kill her, something else is going on in like another room with Paris. Paris has called upon Cronus to try and bring Sienna back from the dead. Cronus, being the bastard that he is, basically decides to toy with him and tell him, I'll give you, like, Cronus has already come to the decision that he really doesn't want Danica dead. He wants to use her for her visions. So he tells Paris, I'll give you a choice. I'll either bring Sienna back from the dead, and you'll have her back in her former glory or whatever. Or I'll remove the bloodlust from Aaron, and he'll no longer be plagued with the need to kill Danica and her family. And he'll be free of that problem, or of that, like, torment. So he has to choose between the girl that could be his one and his brother, who is miserable right now and insane. So, of course, he chooses his brother, and he thinks all is lost with Sienna. Is it? We'll find out. Aaron loses the bloodlust at the very last possible second, and essentially Cronus okay. Danica disappears. Danica disappears. She's transported to the heavens, where she's basically in like a stasis type state. Cronus is watching over her. Reyes is going nuts. He's like, where is my woman? He can't get to her. During the course of the book, they kind of develop like a mental connection, which allows him to eventually telepathically like talk to her or find out where she is. And then she transports him to where she is, like spiritually, because she's technically, as the all-seeing eye, she's like a gateway into both heaven and hell. So she can technically transport people to either heaven or hell. which Reyes found out in a funny way because he disappeared like at the end of one of their sexual escapades, or their first sexual escapade. He looks like he disappeared, and he saw heaven, and it was like a cliche, like I saw heaven, but no, he saw heaven. He was there. They find that out later that was a legit thing, and now he comes to basically rescue Danica in her sleep state, like Sleeping Beauty. It's like Sleeping Beauty at the end. He comes and he's like, hey girl, wake up. Cronus, you piece of shit. Let go of my woman. And at that point, Cronus basically decides to stop fucking with them in this particular way. And as long as Danica agrees to tell him of any visions that she has about his impending death, basically, which she does. She agrees to do that. And so he allows Danica to go back with Reyes, and they live happily ever after, etc., etc. In the painting where Cronus's head is taken, the person who is holding his head happens to be the leader, or like the leader of the hunters, whom they think is an angel, is actually secretly a lord of the underworld. It's Galen. Galen was the one who betrayed them to Zeus the night that they opened Pandora's box. It's essentially what caused everything. He double-crossed the rest of the lords. And in punishment for that, as well as his assist in opening the box, he was cursed with not one but two demons. He's cursed with, what is he cursed with? Hope and shit. What's the other one? Mistrust or something like that? I can't remember. But yeah. So because he has the demon of hope inside of him, he has beautiful wings like an angel, and the hunters think that he's actually an angel, and he's disguised himself as one so that he can lead them to destroy the men who basically caused his fall from the heavens. And yeah. So in the painting that Danica did, it depicted Galen beheading Cronus. So now Galen is in the hot seat with not only the Cronus, but with the lords of the underworld as well, because they thought he was dead. And now it turns out he's not only not dead, but he's been the leader of their enemies for like the last 1,000 years or whatever it is. Okay. So, also, spoiler alert for future book. Cronus traded in something very valuable to him for the ability to bring back a certain soul from the underworld. A female soul whom he's revived, who may or may not belong to some lord of the underworld. I feel like Stewie from Family Guy because I'm just like, is it Sienna? Is it? Okay. So yeah. So that was my terrible review for the book. I'm gonna have to piece together this video to make it even remotely cohesive, because I was literally all over the place. Literally all over the place. For the rating for this book, I gave it a solid 9. Reyes is yummy, but I have my faves, and I have to reserve them for like, I have to reserve like my 9.5 slot for like my faves. You know what I'm saying? Which, as you know, and as you may have seen in previous videos, or as you may have heard me say in previous videos, I don't think I've ever given maybe 110 on this channel in general. And it's not because if I could, I would rate a bunch of these books 10s. But I deliberately don't. I deliberately rate them like a 9.5 if they're like amazing, simply because I want to leave that half a point wiggle room for something that literally blows my fucking head off. Okay? I gotta leave a little bit of space, right? But for this one, I did give it a solid 9. I really did enjoy it. I really love this series. So yeah, so really love Gena. Really love the series. I would definitely recommend that you guys pick up this book. I would definitely recommend that you read the series. We're only at book 3 right now. So if you're just now hearing about this, where have you been? But also, you have time to catch up before I get further down the line. I'm going to be trying to crank out reviews for this series and to finish off Kresley Cole's IED series. Immortals After Dark series by Kresley Cole is like, if you haven't, why? That's all I have to say. That's all I can say. I'm much further along in reviewing that series than I am this one. So I'm going to try and get these out as, like, you're going to notice every other video is going to be a Lord of the Underworld video, or every other video is going to be an Immortals After Dark video until I get completely caught up, because I need to, like, these are the 2 paranormal romance series that I can't fall off of. I have to finish reviewing. I've read them all. I have to finish that. Yeah. Is that it? I think that's it. I really thank you guys so much for watching another video. If you've made it all the way up to this point, kudos to you, because this video has been a fucking mess. Thank you so much for watching. If you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. At this point, I don't understand why you would, but please do it anyway. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. I upload at least once a week, usually on Thursdays. Sometimes I'll try and upload a second video on like Monday, but sometimes, only sometimes. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I do that all the fucking time. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. Yeah, I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay? Bye. Would you be my girlfriend? Hey. Okay. Get your shit together, Candace. All right. What are we doing? What are we doing with this video? With life? What are we doing? Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's try that again. On no. Yeah. So, Reyes. No. So, I feel like I'm doing a really bad job at explaining this. Tea. Not hot tea. You would think it would be hot tea, but it's not. So, okay, really quick side note. Look at this mug. Can we just cuddle up and read romance? How gorgeous is this? Look at this, and it's like the size of my face. It's humongous. I made my coffee in it this morning for the first time, and let's just say it made like double the amount that I usually make, because I was an idiot and I was like, I need a full mug of coffee. Okay, but that mug's humongous. Maybe you don't need a full mug. I drank like 3/4 of it though, and I'm spazzy enough as is. Add double the amount of caffeine? No. I feel like I'm explaining this really badly. And it's not because it wasn't a memorable book and I can't remember. I mean, it is because I can't remember. But it's also because I'm just... my brain is just so full of information and also devoid of any working brain cells. And... it's very weird. I get very frazzled, like the first video I record of each like session, because sometimes I record multiple videos at once. I get very frazzled, and I don't know why that is, because I shouldn't be, but I am, and I give myself anxiety. Anyway, so yeah, and he was basically tortured and, or like experimented on a little bit, and when he broke out, no. It's just bad. Everything you're doing is bad. Everything you're saying is bad, Candace. Everything. Okay. Okay. So what the fuck are you even talking about? Okay, I physically don't know where to go from here. Okay. My alarm went off. I'm gonna hang myself. I gotta do back-to-back IAD reviews. I've done recent rereads, and if I don't get them out now, I can't delete that from my hard drive until I've reviewed it. But I'm running out of space, if you know what I mean. Okay, I love this cup, but it weighs 95 pounds. It's like, I know why it weighs 95 pounds. Look at it, it's fucking humongous, but still, it's not like a... I wouldn't just drink my tea from this every day. Like, first of all, I have a beagle who sheds like a motherfucker. And I have a rabbit that also sheds. There's hair floating around constantly. Like, I don't use open face cups in my house because of that. I generally recycle or like reuse a cup that has a lid and a straw. So this would not be, but for my coffee... But I think going forward, I'll know to make half a cup instead of trying to do a whole cup, because I just physically can't drink all that. And I shouldn't, because I'm already crazy enough. Wouldn't you agree? Okay.